That's the camera for live there.
It's not straight.
Hey folks, currently live now, just doing the final testing. If anyone wants to give a thumbs up, and we'll test. Audio should be working, mic should be working. Once again, any questions, let us know. Okay, hey folks, just doing the final things for setup.
All right.
Hey, Murray and Associates. Hey, Northern Johnson. I'm a good friend from the UK. I still haven't pronounced your name perfectly. We're going to have a chat about that. Hey folks, we're going to kick off shortly, just testing everything. Alex, how are you feeling?
I think everything looks good. If you guys could see the setup we have, it's pretty amazing.
I'm feeling a bit intimidated, actually, to be honest with
Look at
you.
all this cameras on us.
Well, back in Fort Lauderdale, folks came here to sort out a tender, and also there's a tender T-top, and also one of the units that we have for Murdiot and Bridal, which is quite a big job, but I saw the opportunity to just steal a bit of time of my good friend Alex and try and pick his brain. So there's another thumbs up and wave. How are we looking, Alex? Are we ready?
I think we're ready to go. Today we're going to be talking about branding. What is it? Why is it relevant in the super yachting industry and for your personal life as well? Captain Liam and I have been developing this brand. We've just been going in whatever direction we think is best.
Kind of, yeah.
And it's been unfolding as
It's been unfolding. The real story started in Newport Charter Show 2 years ago with the owner. And the owner of Murdiot and Bridal employed me to get a result. And the result is to get charters and build a platform for Murdiot and Bridal, build something that's exciting for him, his family, the guests, the industry, the crew. That's the challenge. So I started on this social media journey, not getting much traction until I really met you at the first. I started work in April, met you in November 2023, Fort Lauderdale Boat Show.
Yes.
And you put a camera in my face.
I didn't even prepare. I'm like, all right, let's go for a tour.
And
Captain Liam was like, all right, let's go. And you did really well. You're great at presenting. You knew the boat well. You knew the brand well, essentially.
Yeah, I didn't know what the brand is still, but
you were entertaining. And
yeah, well, I love what I do. I love what I do. I'm authentic. And then Alex and I had a connection from that point on.
Yes.
And then Alex really brought in the fact of what is unbridled. What does it mean?
I thought a little deeper because out in the super yachting industry, you'll know that there's a lot of beautiful boats. A lot of them are connected to the brokerages or the builders, but it's a lot deeper than that. What is the unique vessel? Why should people charter a particular yacht over another one? For instance, if you go into the marina, what captures your attention? Is it the Fed ship, the Lursen, or is it the catamaran? Everyone has a different idea and a different, everything.
Theory of branding.
Exactly.
So you mentioned the other day when I saw a quick post, you said branding is the most important part of a company.
Yes.
Why is that?
A well-managed brand is the most important asset in any business. About 75% of the value of a service is its brand, and that's.
But is it the badge? Is it the logo? Is it the people?
That's part of the brand identity. So what we want to do is really clarify a unique differentiator. We want to focus our team or employees or crew as brand ambassadors so they can spread the message. And then we want to align all of our marketing together and communicate that on a consistent basis. So I've prepared.
Just take a moment. Well said, Alex, I think. What you just said, if people want to pick that up, just say it one more time in a sense. We're trying to collaborate people together who have the same passions, the same brand awareness to create brand ambassadors to push a product together. Exactly. My understanding of it is I'm a brand ambassador for Murdiot and Bridal.
100%.
I'm passionate for what I do. I'm the captain. You know, I have a wonderful crew. Whether they go into social media or not is not important for me in any aspect. It's how they conduct themselves as human beings.
Right.
Do they care for the environment? Do they look after each other? Are they aware of the mental health challenges we face?
Mhm.
However, all that being said, when we talk brand, you're talking about brand awareness in the digital space.
So the
Well, I'm
digital
talking about the whole
space,
lot. I'm
the
talking about the whole
digital
lot.
space is a tool, right? So we have
Okay.
social media, that's not
This is
going
social
anywhere.
media.
So since social media came out, all of you will notice that personal brands skyrocketed. People were able to create something of themselves out of nothing. That's what I did with Yachty World. I didn't understand branding then at all, maybe intuitively, but I saw there was a gap, there was a pain point, and I was determined to create a solution. So that comes down to what kind of state are we in with Motor Yacht and Bridal? We knew there was something there. We knew
It's special. Everyone who joins, like you worked on it before, scrubbing the teak. We're replacing the teak. The owner's a really unique human being. Mr. Wrigley was unique, and the crew there was a great captain, a great chief officer, a great crew. 10 years prior to myself joining, and it's got a good reputation.
Yeah.
So the brand itself is already built, but we're trying to put it into a public digital space for people to really understand what we're trying to give. We're trying to give a platform for success for the chartered clients and also the brokers. So my goal is just to give the brokers the tools they need to succeed,
right?
Which is being aware of who I am, who the crew are, who the vessel is.
And that's a lot more complicated to clarify than one may think. But once we can clarify, once we have a set structure, we can educate our team and they can spread the message in a clear and concise way that people will understand, oh, Unbridled is for X. For instance, if you think of Nike, for instance, Just Do It. Nike isn't trying to force their shoes or their clothing brand across everyone's faces. They are participating in sports, and their omnipresence is loud. You will see the main superstars back in the day. They're wearing Nike shoes, and that's what blew up. So you've got to have something that sets you apart than just a product or service.
True, but I'm going to be uncomfortable here because you know I like uncomfortable conversations. That's what I'm known for, and some people get upset with me, and then a couple of months later they'll say, "I appreciate Cap," or "Let's grow." In tough times, you grow. You saw me in a tough passage last week, struggling mentally. It was a tough passage, but I really held on to my crew and worked together with them to make some good decisions. So the Motor Yacht Loon situation is really, it's a sensitive topic for me. It's a sensitive topic for the industry.
Yes.
But I think it's important we embrace it.
Yes.
I really think it's important we embrace it. We don't sweep it under the rug or under the industry's grey areas. We hold on to it, we embrace it. And the reason it's important is because how does the brand get affected? What if that happened to another yacht? How does the brand get affected?
How did it get there in the first place?
How did it get there? It was built by one person, by a group of team, by the crew, by the owner. They were built a brand. But one incident caused that brand or that person to go into another state.
Yes, 100%.
So therefore, how do we protect a brand like Nike? Does it come from the CEOs? Does it come from the captains on board of Motor Yacht and Bridal to say, are we responsible for the brand? And therefore, how do we protect that? The way I think it's important for Unbridled to differentiate is we create these brand ambassadors. I'd love to show the little whiteboard if we could, Alex. I don't know if you're embarrassed about your writing or my writing. This one here.
Well, this is our...
This is just a quick one.
This is just the prepare.
We are trying to protect the crew, protect the owner, protect the assets of the content, of the brand, to prevent things like the Motor Yacht Loon situation happening. So we're trying to create brand ambassadors because a brand ambassador doesn't have to be a digital person. It can be a crew member who's a junior crew who makes sure they pick up the rubbish every day and take it to a recycling bin. They're the assets that I value, and I think brokers should value.
Yes.
Not the people on top that when an incident happens, their head rolls. What are you thinking about it? What's any of the questions that you've got?
I think as soon as I'm going to put this down so I can sit down real quick. And I've got another little board here just in case we come up with some notes.
And we've only got 15 minutes because that's what we allocate. But Alex has already said we need to blow into this.
There's a lot to dissect in a very small amount of time. Captain Liam and I were discussing setting up a webinar for, say, 10 people
You always go bigger, Alex. Alex always goes bigger.
We're going to make it exclusive. So if you're interested in joining that, send us a DM, either Captain Liam or myself. We're going to pick 10 people. Let us know how you define your brand, and we will pick the top 10 to join us with the brand doctor who has been my mentor on my journey. So
talking questions, you've had some great questions come in from the audience. I think Ray's asked some really good ones.
Let me see. Ray has asked some fantastic questions. How important is consistency across different platforms, and how can a brand achieve this? That's a very important question. I would say start with where you are. You know, Captain saw that Vital was this fantastic platform, and we just kept running. We did the seminars, we did the social media seminar, we did the business seminar.
Yeah, we've done a lot, and that comes from the owner's opinion of don't holding back. Like I see all these CEOs of companies, like the owner and Jersey Mike's, and all these people that stand in front of their companies. I might go lower. There you go. There you go. That's better. Oh, yeah, lovely.
There we go.
Jersey, I look up to you, Alex.
I look up to you guys. Great synergy here.
All these CEOs are getting in front of the camera and saying, have this sandwich. All these CEOs are getting in front of their company and their whole world and promoting their products. Why don't Yacht Crew do that? Where are the brand ambassadors? I'm trying to go away from that standardization of you're here to be put in a role to just do that. No, you're here to represent the owner, number one, what his ethos are. You're here to represent the brokerage firm. Like I represent Northrop & Johnson, an absolute honor. I represent Mr. Glydeborn, his team. I represent, Yachty World in a sense. Liquid Yachtwear, I think they're great. I think the companies we work with, that's what I believe is important in the industry. I think more people need to adapt that kind of synergy and that collaboration, I guess.
Once you clarify what you stand for and what your purpose is, then it's easy to align with others. And that's why we connected. We didn't know the nitty-gritty details, but we felt that synergy, we aligned, and we moved forward because our goal is to help people rise at the end of the day.
And your company does that great with a lot of other platforms.
Yeah.
And that's where you're really taking off as a person and a company. I've seen it even the last year, and I'm blessed to continue to work with you and we'll have a long relationship.
Yeah.
But I've seen you develop into this kind of corporate machine in a sense with a personal touch.
I identified problems in the industry, what was lacking, and I was determined to help people. I'm helping many yachties, I call them yachtipreneurs, helping them in the background, also the smaller bespoke businesses such as Yatsu, for instance. They're in Monaco, Liquid Yachtwear. Now you bring in Seakeepers, you bring in a whole different set of
but these people I've been passionate about for years, like Paddy, I'm Paddy shirt. I told the crew it was Paddy uniform, and they're like, yes, Cap, it's uniform. I'm like, that means a lot because that's a company that 25 years I've been a Paddy instructor, and they gave me a little certificate, and my kids don't care, my family don't care. I care because for 25 years I've dived under that water as an instructor and I'm so passionate about it. So what I'm trying to do is, probably from your advice, is find those things you're passionate about. But to answer Ray's question, consistency is the key. It really is. I don't know about social media and reels and likes, and the 19-year-old crew are the ones.
But you're doing it.
I'm doing it myself.
Getting out of your comfort
because
zone.
I don't think it's fair to ask someone to do something you can't do.
Right.
You should understand it as best you can, as really as best you can.
And that comes from a lot of failure as well. Like you were editing yourself, which I thought was amazing from a captain. It's easy to hire somebody else to edit your stuff for you. I've had to do that, but I've gone through all the stages. I've created imperfect pieces of content. I've made many mistakes along the way. So embrace that. Don't be afraid to fail. That's part of the process. And like we're saying, we're still an emerging brand. We're figuring it out, exploring different possibilities. And once you've done that, then you can align everything and everyone together on the same page and consistently market that, put it out there.
All right, what's the next question? And then that's why I like live, just so we're clear, because no editing. It is what it is. And editing is to edit product to a certain level is exceptionally difficult. Understand that, and it's 75-25%, correct? If 25% is content creation, 75% is quality editing.
To polish it, yeah.
So do not my advice to yacht captains in particular is employ a company. Try not to bring it on board. Don't get content creators or social media managers on board.
Help guide you
through the process. Put it in the budget, same as environmental protection. Put it in the budget, speak to the owner. So we need to have a line item called marketing. It needs to be a third party. Oriana Moby Media, Yacht International Radio. There's, Yachty World, there's beautiful people out there that can support you in this journey, that can give you that quality product. And that's what the industry deserves, is the quality product.
100%.
The brand ambassador side of things is be authentic, be yourself.
Yeah.
Take a story, share it. Pick up the rubbish yourself, share it. That's my kind of take on it.
Help on deck, and I've seen you do that. You help the crew with the washdowns, fenders, everything.
I get upset because I talk a bit too much. What's some other questions here? We're a lot rolling in here.
Another one.
I'm not going to get to everyone, but thank you so much for joining. It means the world.
There's some questions coming through. Rhea, if you can send that through to WhatsApp, that would be fantastic.
Do you think after the loon situation, the loon media will return, the brand status? Really good question. It's really up to them, up to the owner. To be all 100% honest with you, people put value. I don't want to come across the wrong way, Alex. I will be a little bit careful in my wording because it is live. People put so much value on themselves, and that's important for self-reflection and mental strength.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, the owner owns the yacht. The charter management companies manage the yacht independently, and we are employees.
Yes.
So although you want to really value yourself in this space, and value yourself by all means, value it for the wage you get, for the terms and conditions, the rotational positions, value yourself 100%. But do not overthink the fact that you are employed to get a result for the owner, whether it's shamming, cleaning, cooking, driving, and also social media and engaging the platform. So will the Loon project come back? Absolutely. It's a beautiful yacht. It's world class.
It is.
It's a small part of its identity. So Tyler's a wonderful captain. That crew are beautiful people. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm saying don't sweep it under the rug, people. Yell and scream from the top of the hills that you want to support this crew. You want to support what happened. You want to understand it. You want to bring them forward. Because of anyone that feels the pain now, is that Loon crew must feel terrible. So give them love. Help them by either working with them, building their platform back up. Don't sweep it under the carpet. Make the noise, have the uncomfortable conversations. What do you got?
Loon is the brand, and just because an individual may have tarnished it a little bit.
That's up to the lawyers. Let the lawyers worry about it. It's not our problem. Our problem
needs to be realigned.
Yeah, our problem is loving the crew, loving the people.
Yeah.
Irrelevant of what happened, our job as human beings is to support one another. And in difficult times, you jump in, you go into the fire, you help the people, you bring them out, and you regroup. That's what we need to do with the Loon situation as a community, as a yacht, not being sensitive about the words you should say or shouldn't say or what they did or didn't do. Just give love, people, please. Just give love. So anyway, I'm getting a bit emotional. I always do when I get
Thanks
passionate.
for addressing that. I think the industry needs it.
Whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's all forward. So many incidences happen in this industry that's not as visual as that, but so many things happen every day. Engineers get electrocuted and passing away. They all need the love of the industry, and this digital marketing space is a platform we can use to give them that love. What's another question?
Another question is, how can a brand establish and maintain a strong emotional connection with its audience?
Technically, time's up. Technically, I just looked down. I only allocate 15 minutes, but let's roll with it because I think I carried on a little bit there. So what's your thoughts on that? Because you are the brand. You understand this. Your business has fought really hard over the last decade, correct?
Yeah.
Yachty World specifically over a decade, and that is the most important decade in digital marketing.
Yeah, I started at the beginning when social media was brand new, and I just somehow knew this intuitively. And if you can remember what I'm going to tell you now, it can change the trajectory of your business. And that is...
Or your brand.
Or your brand and yourself.
Yeah.
One thing I can tell you is be interested, not interesting. If you can figure out what that means, you will see a difference. And that's exactly what I have done to grow Yachty World. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about Alex. Most of you didn't even know who I was for a long period of time, but I was interested. I was curious about what everyone else was doing because it started.
So now I'm dragging you in front
It
of the
started
camera.
as a pain point. I was isolated out in Stockton, California, tiny little island. There was nobody around. I was in the island by myself. There were other vessels, but there was no crew. And I was like, well, this is not what I thought yachting was going to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not at all. So I started digging around on Instagram. What are other yachties doing out there? There was nothing out there at the moment. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bring yachties together. I'm going to highlight other yachties. I had no brand presence. Didn't even know what a brand was back then, but I developed it slowly and surely. I didn't even do it for money. I was working on yachts and building this on the side because I was gaining connections from around the world, from inspiring people. A lot of the superstar yachties, I knew and grew with them. We all grew together. And now I'm able to help more people rise because I've gone through the whole.
But then we talk below decks because I'm seeing.
Yeah, before this.
It depends on how. Yeah, before below decks, and then below decks happened, and then Marriott Loon took off, and then all these King Benjis. But this is a great product. What people are doing, like King Benji, is phenomenal. What they're doing, you know what I mean? Ben Willoughby, phenomenal, but he got fired twice or let go twice because he was on below decks and taking content on board.
Oh wow!
So there needs to be a lot of clarity into the industry to try and embrace it and create, I think, requirements. It's like we need more mental health coaching.
Standard operating procedures.
Standard operating procedures. We do it every time you operate a crane on board a yacht. Every time you go aloft, you have a permit to work. But when a crew member picks up a camera and records something, there is nothing specifically in the vessel's ISM, safety management system, or in the vessel's general MLC compliant contract to address the confidentiality and the ownership of the content. That's the sensitive thing.
It's a lot of grey area right now.
Yeah, but that's what Alex, you're bringing to the table. You're bringing that clarity. Like you've employed two people, found them for us, Marshall and Sarah, which are joining us shortly in Panama.
Looking forward to working with them.
Thanks to you.
Very enthusiastic.
And I've appreciated you finding them and doing your research and training them to understand when they join Unbridled, these are the things to be aware of. So as new employees to the program, I know they're coming with your training, your blessing, your confidentiality, and that's a huge asset. So any crew looking in that digital space, contact Alex. He'll try and find you places on board vessels that will suit you, irrelevant of your position. Captains, engineers,
CEOs.
CEO is land-based, shore-based. You need to work with the tools Alex is providing and brainstorming because it's an invaluable asset to the yacht. So the crew members have got another feather in their cap.
Thank you for the endorsement.
I don't know what the course is called. I just call it brand ambassador.
Yeah, Rise and Thrive. I'll develop the name, but looking forward to helping you guys at our webinar. It'll be a lot more structured. This is just a nice little interview. We've had a whole set of questions.
There's heaps coming in now, so we're trying to address them as well. Completely agree. Thank you for your feedback. Awesome. If you got any other questions, let's try and get one more good one. Let's get a tricky one. Let's get a tricky one to answer up to Alex. Is there any tricky ones there? I'm just reading the Instagram.
I've got one for you. This is what I wanted to ask you earlier. I'm going to put you on the spot here, but this will just be a demonstration of an exercise, a starting point, to help people just expand their thoughts, to start thinking about this a little bit more deeply, because I know that yachts out there that are looking to charter, they need a brand identity. It's just a super yacht. The identity is more than just the builder. A lot of the identity comes from the crew, but it's a lot deeper than that.
Well, let's ask you a question and I'll tell you why I think that.
Go. Okay. What is the core purpose of Motor Yacht Unbridled? Beyond being a luxury yacht, what deeper mission does it serve? That's a loaded question.
That's a tough one. All right, so I'll remember. My mind will run through that question. But the reason I think branding is important for charter yachts is because owners continually and brokers tell me the most important thing on a charter yacht. And what's the most important thing? The crew. They keep telling me the crew.
Yes.
And it is important. We're building awesome yachts. It's you guys out there on board and ashore. Whatever positions you're in, on board and ashore. It's the crew and the industry that make the charter successful. Cooks and Tours, Marina Golfito, all these places, Exceptional Yacht Services down in Costa Rica. That's what makes the industry important. So from a brand perspective, we need to keep building everyone's brands and the services and the companies we work with. Liquid, Nautica, Assistant, Italy, God bless him, one of the best human beings on the face of the earth. Company after company,
Yes,
CQBs. So to answer your question, Unbridled, to be honest with you, whatever the owner wants me to do in a lot of ways, if it aligns with my ethos, I'm all in. I think the owner's a beautiful human being. I'm so blessed to work with him. I've worked with some.
Amazing that he allows us to kind of develop this whole new
His
aspect of the yachting
children.
industry.
I hope his children are watching here. We communicate all the time. They're a big part of his program for me as a pride thing. His beautiful wife, his company, the managers of the company, Mr. Paul, the other two captains, Zach and Captain Trevor. It's huge what he has. The Glidewell, what I call the Glidewell Yacht Collection, like the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection. You can walk into that door and you get quality people around you. Mm-hmm. And that's what gives me goosebumps. That's what I want for Unbridled.
And it shows by the team that you've curated the crew. They're all genuinely good people that want to,
and some, you got to realize too, some come and some go. Everyone puts so much value on the current crew. They're important, they're huge, but it's more of an industry family approach. Like what Graham's doing at PYC is special. It's creating a network of people, what other super yacht captains are doing in different groups. Scott Kidd for the Yachty Real Estate is we've got to keep pushing everyone up. And that's kind of what I hope with Unbridled is we can be, I don't want to say leader because it opens yourself up to, a lot of, lacking the freedom to go the direction you want to go.
Right.
So I don't say leader, but I don't say last. I say we're in a group of people. The peloton always is the best team to be in. You may not get the trophy, you may not get second, you may not get third, but in the peloton of life, you will become a huge part of the community. Pelotons in racing, the group of racing that goes, that's the analogy. For you, Alex, and we'll wrap it up here because we went on too long and we could keep going on and on. Yachty World, what does it mean to you as a brand? You're
Yachty World,
a new father now, embarking new journeys.
That's been a whole new challenge and a whole set of new responsibilities as well. But for Yachty World, my core mission is to rise by lifting others. I've always been there to support those in the super yachting industry, those looking to get in it, those looking to get out of it, but still kind of want to stay in it. The businesses around it, I'm just aiming to shine a light on them. And gaining clarity, gaining power in the sense of being able to provide more value to others at scale.
True.
That's the mission.
So you contact them on Instagram or at Yachty World or everyone. I see these movies and they say follow us and like and subscribe and all that stuff. I don't know how to do any of that yet. So it's still those editing and those companies.
If you find value and want to learn more, get in touch with us. Send us a
Think
DM.
outside the box. 2 peas in a pod. It's all about thinking outside the box, people. Relevant of the perspective. Enjoy, say seas, be blessed, and love each other.
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Thanks for joining in.
And now work with us as we try and turn it off.